My name is James Cameron. No, not this James Cameron, this James Cameron. I grew up in Coney Island, Brooklyn, New York. I now live in Virginia. But before all of that, I had another passion. I loved Rolls-Royces. Well, a few years ago, I accomplished my dream. I purchased a 1985 Rolls-Royce Silver Spur. And that's where the nightmare began. But it was through trial and error that I discovered that there was a way to actually purchase these cars and maintain them that could save the buyer of future cars like this thousands of dollars. Now that is the sound of power. Let's take a trip. Come on. Come along with me. I have now taken that knowledge and will now share it with you. My name is James Cameron, and I want to welcome you to the Rolls-Royce and Bentley University Buyer's Guide. Let's start class. Hello, class. Spring has sprung, and so has the pollen. But, in any event, I decided I was going to take a leisurely drive. I just love going down the Colonial Parkway. We're on our way to historical Yorktown, you know, where Washington was able to win the war in 1781 with the surrender at Yorktown with Lord Cornwallis. Yeah, I know you're not into history, but that's okay. We're getting ready to go to the Yorktown pub. I love eating at that place. And it just so also happens that the owner has a 2014 Bentley. And every time I go there, he gives me extra French fries. So I'm on my way to there. But what I thought I might do in between taking this leisurely drive is to talk about insurance. What does it really cost? And how do you get insurance for a classic car such as a Rolls-Royce or a Bentley? Now, one of the things that, like I said, I always heard when they would talk about these type of cars was very basically this. If you can't afford a new one, you can't afford a used one because of the cost of the maintenance and the insurance. Well, once again, totally wrong. There are a number of companies, some that you might know, some that you don't know, that carry classic car insurance for Rolls-Royces and Bentleys. For example, have you ever heard of Geico? Have you ever heard of State Farm? Have you ever heard of Progressive? They all have classic car insurance. Now, there's some names that you might not know, such as J.C. Whitney, such as Hemmings, such as American Collectors. Those might be names for car insurance and collectors, cars that you don't know. What I'm just trying to say is that there are a number of companies that deal with these type of cars. It's not unusual, and it cannot necessarily be super expensive. But I will say this, let the buyer beware. Just like anything else, you have to make sure that you do your homework, that you do your due diligence. So let's talk about the insurance, and let's talk about the two different levels of insurance. Now, what do I mean by that? how do you intend to use the car? And I know in other videos I have alluded to that. How do you intend to use it? Are you just going to be using it from time to time? Have a leisurely drive like this? Or are you going to use it more as a daily driver? Maybe 3, 4, even 5 times a week. Because depending on how you are going to use it will determine the companies that you use, because not all classic car insurance companies deal with individuals that have classic cars and want to drive them on a much more daily basis. They have the insurance that covers them for driving occasionally, going to a car show, going to a dinner, back and forth, and of course, going to your mechanic. But as far as, say, really taking a drive just to go somewhere, just to do it, they don't cover those type of situations. Now, let me explain this to you. You have to make sure that you know the questions to ask, and make sure you ask those questions, because you do not want surprises. I'll give you an example. All insurance companies will give you towing ability. But the question is, do you pay out of pocket first and then get reimbursed, or do they cover you for the towing period? That's also very important. If, let's say, something happens and for whatever reason you don't have the money to have the car towed 300 miles, 400 miles to maybe where it needs to go, back home to where you live, well, you're going to be out of luck. Which is why I also say, no matter what insurance you get, no matter what company you decide to get, and also which level insurance you decide to get AAA. It's a backup. They do towing. I have AAA because they will cover me for 250 miles. No charge out of pocket. So, for example, if something would happen and the car would fail to proceed, and let's say I had to go 350 miles to get where I need to go, well, AAA would cover me for over 250 miles one way, which means now I'm only out of pocket for 100 miles. And depending on the insurance in which you have decided to take, maybe you're even covered for that 100 extra miles, and so you are now paying nothing out of pocket. These little details are important. Just think of car insurance the way you would think for car insurance for your everyday car. Except with these cars, you want to make sure that you have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. Well, class, I'm leaving the Yorktown pub. Had a really nice meal, or if you're from Brooklyn and you speak Yiddish, you would say you had a nice nach, which is what I did. Enjoyed every minute of it. And I just wanted to let you know, it's important, that all of the insurance companies that I mentioned, I do not have any kind of an affiliate program with them. It was just for your knowledge. I have absolutely, positively no dog in this hunt. But I cannot, again, overemphasize to you that you have to make sure that you really investigate all these insurance companies to find out which one will work best for your situation. And no matter which one you choose, make sure you also get AAA. It does not hurt. Until next time, you be well, be good, safe driving.